Job creation, yes, indeed. Statistics, who knows which one now, but yes, we do have a report about that, which was put together yesterday by our business desk, Chimese Obiwagu, but we'll focus on that in a moment. Oh, joined this time by Dr. Ausitn Nweze, Pan-African University. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, and good morning.
Good morning. All right, let's see. Well, targeting between 80,000 and 110,000 jobs under what they describe as youth enterprise with innovation in Nigeria. And so they set aside some 50 billion in this year's budget, by the way. I don't know what the record is now with implementation, but that's what they're focusing on, to see how can this get us anywhere. They want to create entrepreneurs, you highlighted earlier on, so perhaps you know more about this. So what do you think of this now?
Yeah, this, well, it's a good development because many years ago, over 10 years ago, when some of us started talking about entrepreneurship, it was like, excuse me, what are you talking about? And I'm happy that government attention has been drawn to it, to know that entrepreneurship is the engine growth of any economy in the world. All the economies that have grown, they all started with small businesses. Even the American economy, and you know, before in the late 18th century, when some big companies started, like John D. Rockefeller, started buying up big businesses and all that. Big businesses started in America. But even today, I remember in 1996, Bill Clinton, the former American president, said that within a period that he was able to create about 200,000 jobs. And what are these jobs he created? And when people say they create jobs, you know, some notion is that you just employ people in the government, like some government officials say. The other day, I think Osun State employed 10,000 people and all that. That is not job creation. You're burdening the government some more. You're making government more expensive. Job creation is when people have incorporated their businesses, people are running businesses. Government don't create jobs. Okay, they provide the enabling environment. It's the private sector that creates jobs. Okay, how many people are working with the government? So it's a good thing that the government is coming up with this to build capacity, but that's one part of it. Now, when you released 50 billion, and one of the challenges they have is that monies always go through the banks. And the banking sector is not set up to understand or take the kind of risk that entrepreneurs take. So you find that the money, that somebody comes up with an idea, the bank official, credit analyst, don't understand what that is. Now, we need to go further to develop the non-banking financial services sector, which is the venture capital, private equity companies, and hedge funds. These are the three major, and also encourage individuals who have money, rather than sit down at home, marry more wives, or concubines. They should put this money in the hands of fund managers who can take the risk. Venture capitalists, they understand, and we don't have many of them in Nigeria. Maybe less than 5 or thereabout. You can count them. So these are the people that understand, that can help grow this economy. And there's another aspect. For instance, you have in the US, they call it search funds. A group of medical doctors, through fund managers, got together, invested maybe $10,000, you know, to this fund, contributed this fund. And then entrepreneurs, somebody with a bright idea, can use that money either to look for a company that is not doing well and buy it over and turn it around, or set up a new business. Okay? Now, somebody with that kind of idea can have access to this fund. And then he has confidence that when he does that, when he finds something, that some money out there will be there for him to do. Now, when that happens, and when the business is turned around or business start doing well, this investor, people that medical doctors that have put in money into this, can earn as much as $1 million when profit is shared. So it's an investment on their own part. So we need to deepen our financial services sector, non-banking financial services sector.
We'll focus on this a little more. In fact, some also did talk about the German example, how their banks work, and why don't we have the same kind of scenario here. Yeah. But then let's take a look at this report. Remember, employment, unemployment, job creation, well, some figures also presented here in this report.
It was a program that attracted hundreds of youths drawn from across the country. They thronged the banquet hall alongside some governors and ministers to witness the launch of what the federal government calls UWIN, an acronym for Youth Enterprise with Innovation in Nigeria. Through an annual business plan competition, young Nigerians will get a certain amount of money from 5 to 10 million naira that will enable them run their own businesses. Two young Nigerian youths, Cynthia Umoru, a farmer, and Aisha Mena, a job-seeking consultant executive, shared their testimonies on how through resilience and determination they were able to overcome several odds and challenges to make impact in their own chosen businesses. They called on leaders at all levels to invest in the youth so that the future will be guaranteed.
Investing in your youth is investing in your nation and investing in your future. It means that we will be able to take care of you when you all grow older. But if you turn your back on us at this moment, I make you one promise on behalf of every young person in this country. Not only will we turn our backs on you, we will not be your children.
President Goodluck Jonathan noted that unemployment in Nigeria is one challenge that the nation is ready. 50 billion naira has been set aside in the 2012 budget for it.
The challenges are there, and that is why the coordinating minister came up with that program. Luckily, when we prepared the budget for this year, we had some funds budgeted for 50 billion that will focus on youth employment.
Sponsors of the program include the Ministries of Finance, Youth Development, Communication Technology, the World Bank, and the Directorate for International Development (DFID). The ministers in charge spoke from their perspective of youth development.
We know that unemployment is a big problem in Nigeria. And right from the first day that the president talked to me, he said, we've got to go out and do something. It's not about talking. It's about getting things done to tackle this unemployment.
The Youth Enterprise with Innovation in Nigeria, UWIN, that Your Excellency launches this month, cuts through the heart of these barriers by providing access to credit through a business plan competition, while also delivering opportunities for trade. Mr. President, we thank you.
The ministers joined President Goodluck Jonathan for the launch of the website for the UWIN scheme.
The website launched by our president, open for activity.
The Minister of Communications, Mrs. Omobolaji Johnson, so the first batch will kick off with an initial selection of 2,500 business concepts from the youths across the 6 geopolitical zones, with an additional 3,600 that will be sent for training in business management and business planning.
It's going to be a very, very competitive process. We're looking for, we expect that we'll get hundreds of thousands of applications, but only the very best will win.
Government hopes to generate
Well, I guess I want to just give you a little background of what the WIN is all about. Well, now that you have it, let's go to this with the facts and figures.
If Nigeria's population is estimated at 140 million people, then 50% of Nigerians are said to be unemployed. Or worse still, at least 71% of Nigerian youths are unemployed. The latest figure from the National Bureau of Statistics pegged the unemployment rate at 19.7%. Secondary school graduates consist of the principal fraction of the unemployed, accounting for nearly 35% to 50%. The total university graduate unemployment rate increased from 25.6% in 2003 to 40.3% as at March 2009. Meanwhile, the rate of unemployment within the age group of 20 to 24 years is 40%, and between 15 to 19 years is 31%. And for most economists, these figures increasingly suggest dwindling potentials.
The unemployment statistics that we have potentially grave dangers for the economy and for the society at large. They have serious social, economic, and security implications.
In spite of the increasing unemployment rate in Nigeria and increase in poverty level, the Nigerian economy is said to have grown impressively. The GDP growth rate for the second quarter of 2011 is pegged at 7.72%, with expected growth rate of 7.98% by the end of the year. But for most economists, economic growth not hinged on job creation is no growth.
We all know that to get everybody reliable power will take some time. So in the short term, it would be really good to focus on making sure that clusters where jobs are created have more power, because that will then eventually also drive manufacturing, which everybody complains about, and I understand. But it will never be competitive without more reliable power.
There is no doubt that this step taken by the President to encourage and support young entrepreneurs to develop business ideas will lead to job creation. However, economic analysts say how well it is implemented will ultimately determine its success. Chimezie Obi Iwago for Channels Television News.